It didn't look like a monster. It didn't speak in a growl. It felt familiar, quiet, almost helpful. That's what terrified me most. One night, in total silence, I realized I was not alone, and whatever was with me didn't want my fear. It wanted my agreement. That moment shattered everything I believed about darkness, temptation, and spiritual power. What if demonic presence isn't loud evil, but subtle permission? And what if you've already encountered it without knowing? I never believed in spiritual warfare the way people describe it. I thought darkness was obvious, rituals, symbols, chaos. I was wrong. The encounter didn't happen in a haunted place. It happened in my own mind during a season when I was tired, proud, and spiritually distracted. That night, nothing dramatic happened at first. No shadows moved. No voices screamed. There was only a strange calm, a presence that felt intelligent, observing, waiting, not attacking. That's what confused me. Fear usually comes with danger, but this came with clarity, or at least what felt like clarity. A thought entered my mind that wasn't mine. It didn't tell me to do something evil. It told me I didn't need God anymore, that I was strong enough, that I had outgrown prayer. That idea landed softly like a feather, but it carried weight, heavy weight. In that moment, I understood something occultists talk about, but rarely explain clearly. Darkness doesn't force itself. It invites, it negotiates, it whispers. You decide. The presence wasn't trying to scare me. It was trying to replace authority. I noticed how my chest felt lighter when I agreed mentally. That scared me more than fear ever could, because relief is addictive, and deception often feels like peace at first. Here's the truth I learned the hard way. Demonic presence feeds on alignment, not attention. I wasn't being attacked because I was being recruited. The more I entertained the thoughts, the stronger they became. Not louder, stronger, like gravity increasing slowly. I realized my emotions were being studied. Every insecurity, every hidden pride, every unresolved wound. It knew where I was weak, not because it was all-knowing, but because I had already exposed those places through my choices. Then something shifted. I remembered a simple truth I had ignored for years. Authority doesn't come from feelings. It comes from position. And spiritually, position is everything. I spoke the name of Jesus. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deliberately. And the presence reacted instantly. Not with anger, but with withdrawal. Like a contract suddenly voided. That's when it hit me. The analogy is simple but powerful. Darkness is like a salesman who can't enter your house unless you open the door. It can knock. It can flatter. It can lie about what it offers. But it cannot cross the threshold without permission. I hadn't opened the door through rebellion. I opened it through self-sufficiency. After that night, my understanding of spiritual warfare changed completely. It's not about chasing demons. It's about guarding agreements. Every repeated thought is a vote. Every unchecked belief is a doorway. And every moment of humility closes access the enemy depends on. Psychologically, this matters too. Thoughts shape identity. Identity shapes behavior. And behavior creates spiritual atmosphere. When people feel suddenly off, drained, or foggy, it's often not random. It's internal alignment slipping quietly. The presence never returned, not because I became stronger, but because I became submitted. Submission isn't weakness, it's protection. What I learned is this darkness hates clarity. It thrives in vagueness. The moment you become intentional about what you think, what you agree with, and who you trust for truth, its power collapses. Spiritual warfare isn't dramatic. It's daily. It's subtle. And it's happening in places most people never think to look. The real battle isn't over your soul. That was already decided. The battle is over your focus. Most people imagine demonic encounters as violent or terrifying. But real spiritual danger often appears calm, reasonable, even helpful. This key point reveals a hidden truth. Darkness rarely begins with force. It begins with conversation. Negotiation happens in the mind. Thoughts like, you don't need help, you've evolved past faith, or you're in control now, seem harmless, but they quietly challenge spiritual authority. The goal is not to scare you, it is to gain your consent. When a person agrees internally, even without words, influence is granted. This is why many people feel off long before anything visibly goes wrong. Nothing attacked them. Something simply gained access. Understanding this changes everything. You stop waiting for dramatic signs and start watching your inner dialogue. Spiritual warfare begins where thoughts ask permission to stay. One of the most dangerous deceptions is false relief. When a harmful belief removes stress, fear, or responsibility, it feels like peace. But it isn't healing. It's avoidance. Dark influences often offer emotional relief by encouraging surrender. Stop resisting. Stop trying. You don't need accountability. The body relaxes, the mind quiets, and the soul slowly disengages. True peace strengthens clarity and responsibility. False peace weakens discernment. It numbs conviction. That's how the trap works. This point teaches discernment. Peace must be tested, not trusted automatically. Ask where it leads. Does it pull you toward truth, humility, and growth, or away from them? If relief requires you to give up authority, identity, or alignment with truth, it is not peace. It is permission disguised as comfort. An agreement is any belief you accept repeatedly. Spoken or unspoken, it shapes your inner world. Spiritually and psychologically, repetition creates pathways. When someone repeatedly believes, I am alone, I don't need guidance, or nothing matters, those thoughts don't stay neutral. They build atmosphere. That atmosphere determines what can influence you. This key point reveals why habits of thought matter more than single moments. Darkness doesn't need one big mistake. It needs many small agreements left unchallenged. Awareness is power. Once you identify the agreements shaping your life, you can replace them. Closing a doorway doesn't require fear. It requires truth. Guarding agreements means guarding what you allow to define reality for you. Submission is often misunderstood as weakness. In reality, it is alignment with true authority. When a person stops relying solely on self and acknowledges a higher truth, spiritual order is restored. Darkness loses power when it can no longer negotiate. Submission removes the illusion of independence that deception depends on. This doesn't mean losing identity. It means securing it. True submission brings protection, clarity, and stability. It reestablishes boundaries that prevent intrusion. Spiritually, authority flows downward. When you align upward, nothing beneath can override you. This final point reveals the ending of the encounter not through fear, effort, or strength, but through humility. And humility in spiritual warfare is not surrender to darkness, it is victory over it.